In this video, I'll be going over 3 ways in which you can improve your sleep. So let's get right to it. The first one will be getting to bed earlier. And the key in this is that getting to bed earlier will naturally make you fall asleep quicker. Because as you may not know, well, you're going to find out now. Just because you're in bed does not mean you're sleeping, because most people could say that they're in bed for 8 hours every night, but at the same time they're probably only sleeping for maybe 5 or 6 of those hours. So the first step you need to take is getting into bed earlier, because the earlier you go to bed, the earlier you fall asleep, and the earlier you will wake up, assuming that you want to improve your sleep so you can wake up earlier as well. Another thing that will help with that is making sure you go to bed and wake up at the same time every time. So you need to reflect for a bit and think which times of the day could you consistently go to bed and consistently wake up at. For example, for me, I go to bed at 9 o'clock each night. 9 o'clock is a time that I could say is a consistent target I can hit. Before, I used to set it at 8 o'clock, but I realized I kept on going over 8 o'clock. I kept on having too much things to do later in the night to consistently go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I extended it to 9 o'clock, and I'm able to hit that more consistently. And now I try to consistently wake up at either 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And if I can go to bed at 9 o'clock and get my full rest cycle, I'll definitely be able to wake up at either of those 2 times. So the next thing that can help you with that is looking at the sunset. A lot of people don't really realize the importance of seeing the sunrise and seeing the sunset. So even if it's just for a minute, if you wake up early enough, go outside, look at the sunrise, and then whenever the sun's setting now, you go outside again and look at it for a minute. If you have a window that can open, sure, you could do it from inside the room as well, but preferably you'd want to go outside. So it's a trigger in your what's the name of the system? I'm trying to remember. It's a thing that regulates how is it called? I'm trying to remember. You know what? Forget it. But it's this internal thing with your body that that tries to align your functions with the time of day. So whenever you wake up and see that sunrise, your body knows for sure that okay, this is the start of the day. And whenever you see that sunset again, okay, this is the end of the day. I can start to wind down now. So that's the first factor. The second factor will be making sure that you are relaxing yourself before going to bed. Now, this is a prevalent issue, especially with my generation. So, what a lot of us tend to do is we'll be in bed, lights are off, whatever, but we have our device, whether it be our phone or a laptop, we have a device with us, and we're still watching content, watching YouTube videos, watching something. Especially just the fact that it's watching something is going to be detrimental for you in the long term. Because while you may feel like your brain is relaxed, your brain isn't relaxed, because to have one, the bright light from the device, and two, the blue light, even worse if you don't have a blue light filter on. So those two things factored in, and the fact that you have that loud sound, because you're probably listening to it at a level that you want to actually hear the content, right? So having that loud sound as well, it's going to keep you up. It keeps your brain engaged, especially if you're trying to just make it be background noise. Sure, maybe it would be less engaging, but if there's a video that you're actively trying to watch, it's not going to work, because your brain is not going to be relaxed watching that video. Your brain is going to still be active and working, trying to process everything that's going on in video. So a lot of us need to cut videos out, watching videos before we're going to be able to cut them out. Texting as well. Don't text anybody when you're trying to sleep. Have your phone off or put it somewhere away from your bed. The only thing that you should do if you want to be doing something until you fall asleep, read. Try reading something. So if you have a tablet or even your phone, if you're able to have your phone and you have a blue light filter, go ahead, read something. Read a book, or it could be, a comic book would be less stimulating than an actual video, but reading would be a much better way to help you try and fall asleep. So yeah. There's another thing I wanted to talk about, if I can remember it. I don't think I'm gonna remember right now. If I remember it later on, I'll remember it. So thirdly, this is going to be a big aid with your improving your sleep, especially if you have dry mouth, your breath stinks and everything when you wake up. One of the key ways to mitigate that: tape your mouth. Tape your mouth. Tape your mouth. So this is micropore tape. It's basically medical tape. As you can see, it's very easy to tear off. So I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to tape your mouth correctly. That's it. That's all you need to do. And just that alone, you'd be surprised how much your sleep will improve because of it. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, I had a friend who came to me recently. He was talking about how bad his sleep was. Always wakes up and his mouth is always dry and everything. I said, I had to ask him, have you tried taping your mouth? And of course, he looked at me weird because that's not really the most conventional advice for improving sleep, taping your mouth. Who does that? But lo and behold, he tried it for a couple of days and you immediately felt the benefits. So if nothing else works for you, if going to bed earlier and having more hours of uninterrupted sleep does not work for you, if telling your body to wind down earlier does not work for you, then taping your mouth will. Specifically taping your mouth. So invest in some micropore tape. It's very cheap. You don't have to worry about breaking the bank to buy any. Just invest in some micropore tape. And I also remembered what I was trying to talk about earlier. So another thing, just to overall make you fall asleep faster, ensure that you do not go in your bed for anything else other than sleeping. When you wake up, get out of bed and do not go back in your bed. Do not lie down in your bed specifically until you're ready to go back to bed, because your brain your brain connects familiar environments with familiar activities. So the more you associate your bed with not sleeping, is the more your brain will not want to sleep when you go in bed. So if you're lying in bed at noon watching videos, that's not going to help you fall asleep. So, later in the night, you need to stay away from your bed for as long as possible throughout the day. Only go back to your bed when it's nighttime. So that's the video. If you found value in this content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any feedback or criticisms, don't be afraid, leave it in the comment section. I would love to hear it. But that's it. See ya.